So thank you very much. I'll be talking shortly on the alignment, on the use of ETV to demonstrate the alignment of green innovations with the green taxonomy. I must say that that was quite a challenging exercise, since the taxonomy itself, I don't know how much you know these documents, is a quite sophisticated piece of European regulation. It's not only one directive or one regulation. It's a regulation that has attachments, that has delegated acts, that have, again, attachments, and so you really need to go deeply inside. The other thing is also that the stakeholders to whom we have been talking, so the companies, the listed companies who have to follow the taxonomy, and also the banking sector, they also themselves are just developing the skills and the competences to follow this requirement. But that creates also an opportunity saying, okay, now, since not everything is fixed and closed, maybe we should try and build this relationship and see how that would work, how ETV could work in that context. So our campaign, as I said, focused a lot on validating the ETVs to support the EU green taxonomy, but also there were other opportunities that appeared in the meantime during our campaign, just to try and build a sectoral approach to ETV and use the standard to validate a specific type of technologies. That was something that also Albert in Setaqua was exploring. So a good background to exchange some practices on how ETV could work in those contexts. The reason why we started this link with building with the taxonomy goes a little bit to the beginnings of the project, when we made a survey asking different companies in different countries, as you see, over 500 different companies, about the importance of demonstration of an environmental effect of a technology. And apparently, you see it's, I don't know if it has, no, I cannot, it doesn't, no. You see that in majority of cases, this importance, it's all the green stuff that you can see on this picture, the demonstration of an environmental effect was really highlighted as something very important. Following this idea, and also following other developments that we have done in our project that considered maximizing the utility of ETV, knowing that we are at the stage when the Commission will make a decision going for a full-scale program or maybe quitting it, we have also seen that if we only stay with those 3 current EU ETV objectives, that may be a little bit too little. Maybe we need to expand it a little bit more and try to find out how to build the other links and demonstrate the other use cases of ETV. And at the bottom of this nice green ring, you can see ETV as a de-risking tool for green innovation investments. When we were developing that, the EU ETV taxonomy was also still at the drafting phase. So we had to wait a little bit just to see whether ETV could work in those contexts. Nevertheless, right up front, knowing the need for presenting environmental information and knowing this opportunity, we decided, okay, this is an opportunity we should try and explore. So, of course, the fact that the Commission suspended or terminated the EU program didn't help us a lot. I was talking to the people who are from the Sustainable Financing Platform, but it was easy when we had a European scheme behind it. Now, talking only in terms of a market tool is quite challenging. Nevertheless, we are talking to banks, we are talking to financial, to investors, just to see if ETV could really work as we have assumed. For those who don't know what a green taxonomy is, it is a tool to support financing in Europe, just to help companies navigate and finance their green investments. It is also to help direct the investments into the areas where achievement of environmental technologies is really important. But the bullet inside says that it is also to help scale up projects and investments into new technologies, considering both delivery and application that make green transformation possible. And this is exactly the hook where we thought we might try to make a contact with ETV. And what was also important for us, when you look at all these regulations, you will see that taxonomy combines, first of all, the need to demonstrate environmental effects, because you need to demonstrate that the investment is green. Invest with investment and with the de-risking of investments. And there is a demand for transparency, there is a demand on third-party verification. So that is all the basics for us to create the ETV case. There is another side of the taxonomy that imposes an obligation on reporting green investments, both on the side of the companies who are listed. Right now, this is only large companies. Nevertheless, when you look at it from the perspective of the value chains, you may also assume that the companies cooperating, the small companies cooperating with the large companies who are the heads of the value chains will sooner or later also have to prove their environmental performance, because the large ones will not want to cooperate with anybody who is deteriorating their environmental performance. Then also the financial institutions have to report on the portfolio of their green investments. It is a challenge for them as well, because they need to find out a way to categorize what fits and what does not fit with the taxonomy criteria. So we thought that, okay, if the banks are working on the assessment of the investments, assessment of the projects, maybe we could give them a helping hand with ETV as a delivering agent who could prove that the technology that serves as a basis of the investment is actually performing green, and that the whole investment will actually comply with the requirements or align with the requirements of the taxonomy, so that they can categorize it under the green, under the portfolio of green investments. So, as I told you, the legislation around the green taxonomy is quite complicated. I cannot call myself by no means an expert. Nevertheless, in order to understand how we could implement ETV into those contexts, I had to make a little bit of a reading, and I'll try to present it very briefly to you. So where you go through this legislation, you will see that a lot of effort has been done by the experts to set up science-based indicators and some thresholds about what is to be considered a green investment in a variety of sectors, in a variety of economic activities, and they are listed and they are reported and they are specified. Those science-based indicators and those thresholds, you can find them in two environmental delegated acts that are right now ready. More are expected. The one is on the environmental performance, and the one is on the climate aspects. The taxonomy itself has 6 objectives. You can see them on the green field. I will not read them. So if an activity, an economic activity wants to be recognized as aligned with those requirements, it first of all has to demonstrate substantial contribution to at least one of the environmental objectives, so into one of those 6 that are listed on the right side, does no significant harm to any of the other 5 objectives. Isn't that in line with our environmental added value assessment? Then complies with the minimum safeguards. So this covers the S letter in the ESG reporting, so all the social aspects. So this is something that maybe we're not into. And then complies with the technical screening criteria provided in the delegated acts. And this is where we actually could have an impact. Yeah, so this is how ETV could help demonstrate alignment of an activity with the taxonomy requirements. On the substantial contribution to at least one environmental objective, to the do not DNSH requirement, and to the compliance with the technical screening criteria. We will not touch the social aspects. This is not our cup of tea. Now, just to be pragmatic and show you a very concrete example, because this is the easiest way to explain. I have taken from the delegated act a part that refers to circular economy and refers also to water sector, because we have some partners here from water, and I guess that it will be the easiest to understand. And the requirement concerns activity that deals with phosphorus recovery from wastewater. As you can see, it is not prescribing a specific technology that needs to be applied. It is focused on the end result that needs to be achieved and demonstrated. So, for example, what type of activities may this phosphorus recovery from wastewater consider? It considers construction, upgrade, operation, and renewal of facilities for recovery of phosphorus from urban wastewater treatment plants, and from materials like ashes after thermal oxidation of sewage sludge. You will also see that it is a little bit limited because it is mostly focused on struvite only, while there are also some other minerals that could be recovered. Nevertheless, we cannot have everything. Let's focus that there is an opportunity just on one thing and follow it. So the technical screening criteria refer to substantial contribution to the transition to a circular economy. So water aspect, circular economy. Then the requirement says that for the process integrated at the wastewater treatment plant, covering typically phosphorus salts such as struvite, magnesium ammonium phosphate, and then you got the number. The phosphorus recovery process recovers at least 15% of the incoming phosphorus load. Isn't that something that we could verify for a technology under ETV? I think we could. It is just the point, well, I'm not saying that it is to be directly translated into this way. Nevertheless, there is a target. That means that the operator of the facility will need to demonstrate. If they need to buy or upgrade their installations, they will be looking for solutions and a proof that once installed in their facilities, those numbers will be implemented and those numbers, those values would be achieved in order to get alignment with the requirement of the taxonomy. The same refers to the downstream recovery. Again, you have the process recovers at least 80% of the incoming phosphorus load. So, you know, all these numbers are technology specific. They have been based, of course, on the investigations of the technologists. They refer to an activity, but based on a process. So, and sooner or later, if anybody would like to comply the definition with or alignment with the taxonomy, they will need to achieve those numbers. And probably they need new technologies. So whoever is offering anything in that way, and we know that right now the amount of the circular economy solutions for water sector is dramatically, but in a positive sense, increasing. I guess these numbers are to be followed. There is another requirement which concerns the use of the extracted phosphorus. Again, that's an opportunity just to present what the quality of material you can achieve from the installation in order that it fits to the requirement 3. So, how ETV works in that context? As I said, third-party verified information on the performance. This is something that may help, and one more important aspect of ETV. We're not only verifying the performance, but we are verifying the performance for a specific context of application. And this is quite important when bringing the technology to the market, just to show that, okay, you can achieve these values, but those, we have verified them for a very specific context of application. So it helps to make a decision for the buyer if this technology will deliver as promised in their environmental, in their operational environment. Then it is, when you read the standard says as well that you need to ensure in full compliance to the requirements of the users of the technology and the stakeholders. Wouldn't that allow us to open a little bit the window of parameters we are verifying and look actually on what the taxonomy is saying about the requirements for a given application where our technology is to be used? And last but not least, I think that if we have this set of data more adjusted to the alignment with the taxonomy requirements, we could also create a very powerful tool for the investors, for the banking system, but also for the startups to identify the ones that are actually offering something that fits into the current market needs, but also fits into the system, how investors and how the banking sector is now looking into the investment concerning the green performance. So here you see a little bit of our activities, a lot of me on those pictures. I think that both Agnieszka and Kasia, my colleagues from yours, were very deeply involved in arranging, making all those roundtable debates. All these events confirmed that this link is the correct one. Nevertheless, we need to explore it a little bit more so that we can get a tangible result with the banks or with investors that they actually recognize ETV for their purposes. Although right now they see the green light. And I guess that Przemek today also confirmed that that's an opportunity. To finish, what we have managed throughout this project to accomplish here in Poland is, first of all, we have tried to tie ETV with the national policies. Once the program was over, it has become extremely challenging because talking to policymakers with a letter from the Commission saying goodbye ETV program as a European initiative is over, now especially it just doesn't work. Nevertheless, we still have ETV recognized as one of the tools of the national procurement policy, which is important because whichever project we want to implement right now, I can always refer to those documents regardless if we have a European program or not, but ETV is there. We still have ETV at the National Environmental Policy, and even though this is not a European program, the Ministry of Climate and Environment still monitors what is happening on ETV. Then we have managed to launch 2 funding schemes for ETV. They are not dedicated strictly for ETV. Nevertheless, ETV is an eligible cost there. So it's under the FANG program. This is for the greening of the enterprises. If they want, they can calculate the costs for verification in this program. And the second one is the program which is run by our sponsor, so what called Financier, so the National Fund of Environmental Protection, which is on innovation and environment. If you apply for an investment involving a verified technology, you got upfront 10 out of the 60 points that confirm the innovation and the environmental added value. Or you can apply to verify a technology in the framework of a larger program, and this is an eligible cost. So I'm quite happy about that. Then we're in the discussion right now and we think it will be quite a solid sector-specific program. We have a very solid base on focusing on the application of ETV on renewable energy technologies, more specifically into the heat pumps. Because you know that there is a big legislation right now going on the European Commission side concerning the performance of the heat pumps, the importance of those heat pumps, and it is not only for the domestic use but also for the industrial use. And so sooner or later, there are some certification schemes for those pumps. The question is that many of them are based on self-declarations. Then, last but not least, we will be further exploring this demonstration of the alignment of the help of ETV to help companies demonstrate the alignment with the EU taxonomy requirements. Because I'm personally convicted, and from all the discussions we had, I'm quite sure that this is the right way to follow, and it could create a very strong market and a business case for ETV.